All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. One second. I'm going to be doing some stuff here. I wanted to show you guys this screen that you see in front of you because out the box, the MPC sample, I mean, obviously when you first use it, you're going to just try it out, but nobody's showing this. You need to run the update before you use it, or you could get a bad impression maybe for things like the MIDI that didn't work. And I think they may have known that there's some things. Keep in mind, these things probably have been sitting in a warehouse for some time. But yeah, it needed an update because the MIDI did not work at all. So we're going to try the MIDI together. I'm going to try to get a camera for you guys to be able to see. I have it. I just got to grab it and set it all up. So just bear with me as I do this. So take a look at this. I'm going to show you this first. This is the new firmware update. When it comes out, I think it's initially it's like 1.0, I think something like that. And then when you do the current update, it's going to be this. So you have to type in, you have to hook a USB-C cable to it, to your computer. And then and by the way, when they say you don't need a computer, they mean you don't need a computer to make music. They're not saying you don't need a computer to update stuff and things of that nature, especially when you have an SD card. I don't even have an SD card yet. Well, I do, but I haven't put it in yet. But make sure you just run this update first. And there's also a manual, so we'll get that thing. Um, oh wait, no, that's manual update. That's not what I meant. But you want to make sure. What's up, Ali Star? You want to make sure you run this update. So I'm gonna close my product firmware for now, just because I don't know if it has my license information on there. And yeah, so I don't want you guys to be able to see that. So I'm gonna just close it, and we'll close this. But make sure you go into the MPC website and read that software update thing, which is, I believe, in here. But anyway, it'll tell you how to do it, and it'll walk you through. It's pretty simple. So anyway, you got to do that. All right, so let's get to this camera thing. I'm gonna set this stuff up, and I figured out a few things, but I want to try a few things, and at the same time, I want to say that it does sound good. The speaker sucks. It's not good. Don't fall for that. Oh, it's so great. It's not. It's terrible. It's cheap sounding, but that's what it is. Don't. It's no more probably cheap than what you would get in um the TE one too. They all sound cheap to me, and I'm just used to better quality speakers. Okay, so I'm not speaking on any of them as good because those little speakers just don't produce enough sound to me. The other thing is you want to make sure that you delete all the samples because they literally come preloaded with every sample on there because they just want you to feel like you get started right away. But they load all the banks with samples. That's 128 samples I had to go through and delete. And you literally have to erase each pad. You can't, well, I could be wrong on this, but I tried to erase and hit the bank and it doesn't. And that may be something that you have to, that may be in the update. I don't know. I'm about to find out in a minute. Um, but you should be able to just update and delete a whole bank. It doesn't make any sense to me. So let's say I have this bank here. Let me see if I hit erase bank. Does it do it? Negative. All right, I'm about to get on camera. Let me fix this real quick. 1 second. Hey, bear with me as I adjust. I'm trying to move stuff around so that you can see the MPC because otherwise you won't be able to see it. So 1 second. Let me see. How do I do this again? It's been a minute. Where is my. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. My eCamp. Sorry, I gotta fix this. Should be connected to my phone, but I don't think it is. Okay, there we go. You guys see it on my phone? All right, so let me put it on my tripod stand up here so that I'm not giving you a headache looking at this thing. Give me 1 second. I have to adjust it here. Okay, now you should be able to at least see it. So pardon that shaky bit at the beginning, but I forgot to put the thing up there, so that messed me up. All right. All right. I don't have the best of lighting. Um, Maybe someday when I get bigger or something like some of these other guys, I'll invest in some better lighting. At the moment, right now, this is what it is. Um, okay, so I literally to erase everything, you hold erase and just touch it. It's so simple. So now there's nothing on these pads, and you have to do that with each bank. Okay, just to get it done. Um, I'm showing you stuff that I don't think people talk about as much. There's a million videos out this morning. I got overwhelmed with seeing so many. This pad here is actually leather or pleather. It's probably pleather, but it's actually nice compared to what I thought it was going to be. This little rubber armrest. I guess there's some value in having it because if you need to brace your fingers, can you guys see my fingers? It's hard because this stupid deck saver right here, I don't have a lot of room. I'd almost have to move it or move the camera in a different area. But anyway, um, it's kind of nice because when you're drumming, you could end up touching these other buttons, but this pad kind of gives you something to rest on and hit. What's up, Meerkat? Good to see you. Probably project dependent. Maybe. Yeah, probably. Maybe. Not sure to be honest. But I do know that it didn't work. So the USB-C works good. One of the problems I was having, and hopefully with this firmware, it fixed whatever it is. We're about to test in a second. Was well, two things. One was the MIDI, and then I was using my. You guys know I've talked about this. Let me see if I can bring it in camera. My little Presonus thing that I use, and I'm running it from my L6 into this joint for the USB. Couldn't get no sound out of that thing. I don't know. It was wild. Okay, so to bring a sample in, obviously you can do sample select. It's pretty simple. They have these built-in samples, and I know these are things. I'm gonna show you some stuff they don't talk about. So I know you can't hear it as well. Wait, why is this thing doing? Oh, I don't have the output plugged in. Of course, you're not gonna hear it. What did I do with that stuff? This is the worst setup I've ever done. Terrible. Okay, sorry, I just gotta bring some output in, so hopefully you guys can hear what I'm doing. 1 second while I fix this. I need to leave the input in too for you. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear that. So I'm looking for where the heck did I put those other cables? Okay, here we go. Sorry for the clanking and the stuff. I'm doing this on live just because it's easier than me trying to do a whole video for you otherwise. So let me grab some cables. There we go. And then I'll put these other cables up. And then we're gonna hook it up so that I'm hoping to route the sound for you through the let's see, through the Zoom. So that way you don't have to listen to this little speaker, this little trash speaker. I'm trying to give you guys better sound. Can you guys hear that? Can somebody tell me in the chat if they hear this? Hold on, let me move my mic closer. Can you hear that drum break? Oh yeah, I'll go full screen in a second, but I wanted to show you something on the screen up here, so that's why I was. But yeah, I'm gonna go full screen in a second. So give me 1 second here. I don't want to mess this up. Wait, how do I do that? You can tell I'm a rookie at this. I don't do this enough. Entire screen. Current application. Nope. Entire screen. I'll have to figure that out for you guys. Let me see. What does this do? Oh, that's the wrong screen. Okay. I'll have to set that up later for you guys to see full screen. There's some value in seeing this screen, the computer screen, because I'm going to show you some stuff in a minute. And then I know it's harder to see here, but I got to get used to figuring out how to zoom in on this thing because it's not my norm. So I'm trying to see, where is that little screen at? There's a little screen that exists. Is that it? Nope. There it is. That's what I'm trying to find. Oh, oops. Is that better? But now you can't see you can see this better, but this is eCam, but you lose the rest of the area around it, and because it's zooming like that. So I'll use the zoom, keep it open, and when there's something you need to see on the screen, I'll zoom in, and then when it's not, I'll zoom back out. Some stuff is important for you to see, some stuff is not really that big of a deal. Um Let me see if I can find. I was trying to see where I can adjust the whole screen and make it maybe I can make it brighter. Yeah, make it brighter. But I was trying to see how I can make it enlarge this little screen at the bottom that you guys are looking at. You can't see what I'm moving. I'm acting like you can, but it's funny. All right, so let's see how it looks when I zoom in. Yeah, see, you're getting close up of that. So, okay, I'll use the zoom, the digital zoom to help you see. And we'll just leave it that way until I figure out a better way. Okay, so let's get back to what I was really trying to say. Okay, so you're going to have all these banks, which I've deleted already, full of samples when you first get it. You're going to need to erase every sample one by one. Because at this present point, we can try the banks again. Let me just drop some. If you just click in, it'll. These are drum breaks, by the way. I'm just putting them in. So there's double stop press the stop button to kill it. It's pretty simple there. But look, so you have this break going. Can you guys hear this break? Oh, you hear it? Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. It sounds better in person than it does through YouTube because YouTube compresses it a lot. You can adjust the volume for each one. And you see when that little light, can you guys see? Hold on, let me zoom in, see if you can see it just a little bit better. Hopefully that's a little bit cleaner. This little light that comes on over here tells you where you're at on that sample so you can adjust the volume. And then you have your master out. I'm not going to try to do all that adjustment, but you guys get what I'm saying. And then the loop feature. So if you're looking at the sample, now I'm going to zoom in a little. So let me do that for you because you can still see it a little bit better. Okay. So if you hit the loop button, you can loop obviously whatever's playing. And you have start and end. It's pretty simple. You've seen other videos where they do it. And if you leave it going, it's going to continually loop, right? Back to the loop. So there you go. So that's looping on. And obviously you can start and stop. This reminds me so much of the SP with that. Now I'm not going to compare it to old MPCs because I didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately, to use them because I was broke. Like I still am. No, I'm just kidding. Like most of us was back then. Unless you grew up with a lot more money. But anyway, so I didn't get to use all those extra nice machines they had back then. You have the reverse if you want to reverse the sample, shift reverse, and then you'll see. Can you guys see? Am I still zoomed in? Is that glare killing me or just killing you? Hopefully it's not too bad. Up here on the screen, there is a arrow pointing that way. That little arrow just represents it going in reverse. Right? It's pretty simple. I'm going to get this camera situation better. I just got to work on it, and I haven't been focused on it as much. Okay. Yeah, that's enough of that. All right, so that's how you do that. Just hit shift from there and you can, so these 4 blue pads adjust the 4 features in here. So like 16 levels, etc. So if you turn on 16 levels and hit shift and then 16 levels, you see it's on velocity when it's green, filter when it's like blue, and then purple is tune. So you have those 3. So if you just want velocity, it's green, right? And that's pretty simple to understand. The chop feature, you got to turn off 16 levels. And then what's cool about it is each one of these is a track that could hold up to 20 minutes, right? On all of these banks. So technically, like the SP, this is track 1 through 16, if that's how you want to term it, because this is A13 up here. So 1 starts here and goes up to 16. So this is a track. So if you were doing ambient music like I like to do, I'd be making each one of these a track and finding ways to creatively loop them or whatever you want to do. It's like 2 centimeters high of screen. We can't see much. Oh, is that the glare on it, or are you just saying because of the? Oh, it is a little glare on there, huh? Dang, I can't fix that right now. Give me 1 second. Let me try something. Bear with me as I wipe the camera. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm gonna wipe the camera and see if that's gonna make it a little bit cleaner. This is an iPhone 17 Pro Max, so it's got the better camera on it. Does any of that help? I can zoom in all the way, but which is like right there. But then you can't see anything down here below. I'd have to readjust. Just go overhead camera only. Well, the problem with the overhead camera right now is I got to figure out how to do that. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't remember how to turn it on overhead only. Let me see. Entire screen. Because it's set to entire screen, but it's showing me the entire screen. Let me see if I can figure that out for you. Let me see. Does this do it? There you go. How's that? That better? Can you guys see it? I can dim the light in the room or something and make it a little less, or maybe turn the brightness down if that helps. Is that better? How's that? I don't do a lot of overhead videos. Most of my videos are me on screen, but yeah, so this is cool. If you guys can see it, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know if it's good. See my hand going across is crazy. We can zoom out a little bit and then I'll zoom in if you really need to see the screen for something. Picture in picture, no good. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So you should just be seeing, from what I'm seeing, I'm watching the preview mode. You should be just seeing the device. Okay. One view only, brilliant. You want me to change, what do you want me to change? The temperature maybe in the room? Let me see if I can adjust some of the saturation. Put a little more in. Does that help it make it a little bit better? There we go. How about that? Is that better? Okay, perfect. I'll try to do my best to adjust for you. Okay, so here we have these 3 pads. Like I said, to erase, you just pretty much hit erase and then press the pad and it clears it. Super simple, nothing complex. To copy a pad, shift erase, press the pad and then press the pad you want it to go to, and then it copies it. Just that easy. So now we got 2 samples going at the same time. I haven't figured out mute groups yet. I'll get there. But I think mute groups for them is pretty much the way you have to go when it comes to being able to not time correct. What is my brain thinking of? To like choke groups, because that's what they call choke groups. Anywho, let's move on. We're gonna erase this one, but I was saying is to erase the whole thing, they should have made it like pad bank, but it's not. You have to literally erase one by one like that to do it. So when you get it, when you first get it, just know you're going to be hitting erase, going through bank after bank, trying to do that. The banks don't move automatically. So when you record in, you're literally recording to these pads. Your chops are based on this button. So they are non-destructive, right? So they're gonna, so let's bring in a chop or sample and I'll show it to you real quick. So let's just bring a break in. That's fine. This does click in, by the way, if you're wondering. This mic is crazy loud too. And I can't figure out how to adjust the volume on the mic. So it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna turn it on. It'll, maybe they fixed it, added something, but you need something to be able to do that. Anyway, click off and then you're back in here or click sample. So here's the break. If you hit chop in the first chop mode, it will automatically chop it for you. Right? And whatever it's going to be. And then you just turn the chop here. I don't like that you got to go all, it's kind of like SP where you got to go all the way back and then come up just to adjust to the next one. But then you got your threshold right there. It's kind of finicky too, a little bit. See how it's jumping around? Like, get the threshold. Okay. This is region, I guess. Well, this is region. What the heck was this then? It's a little finicky at times, I feel like. Okay, so there's another one. And then everybody's going to want to be here probably just all the way over. Probably the one you're going to stay with, which is manual, where you. I'm terrible at auto chopping like this. I'll get better, but I don't do it a lot because I mostly play the music in. I don't chop this way. But you can adjust the start and end points, right, for each chop. And I'm assuming I was told you can just shift in and do something like this, but I can't find it, to be honest with you. When I do shift in like this, the zoom says start here, but I think you have to go all the way back down. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, you have to go all the way back down just to zoom in to adjust your start, and then go all the way back over. So that's a little finicky in some ways, but it is what it is. So hold down shift, and then you can adjust. Once you do it, then you can see that you can get in there pretty tight. And you can do it with this too, seems like, if you want. Let go and then bring it in closer. So it's old school chopping at its finest. No touch screen, none of that koala touch, right? Even though I love my koala. But yeah, you're gonna be using knobs and you're gonna be fine tuning. And if you hate the SP workflow as far as chopping, you might have some feelings about this one too, then, because it's gonna be similar, right? Unless they change it from the time I'm filming this video. You were asking me about, does it does the bigger jog wheel allow for fine control? Well, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it allows you to zoom for sure, and you can, but I don't know if it's finer controls. You have to zoom in to get the finer controls. Does that make sense? I think you have to zoom in to get that, just so you know. And then there's the in. But then if you zoom in too far, then you can't. So it's like, so give and take here, I guess. You have to zoom out. You have to get used to these controls of the start and end and zooming. But yeah, you can zoom, you can extract, you can split or merge. So I think if you extract, we all know what that means. Split, if you want to split a, and you can keep hitting split and it'll keep splitting till you get to 16, and that's all you have, right? And then there is a undo, which is, thank goodness it is, right? But I don't know what it undo does. I don't know if it's just for the sequencer I'm not sure because it's sure not deleting these pads. But if you just hit erase, I think erase for everything does it. Yeah, it'll take away the markers. And then you could just start over and start doing it in with this chop. Unless you're going to use regions, regions, where it does that, right? And this is regions for 8. And then this is regions for 4. And then this is chop, threshold. So it's threshold, regions for 4, regions for 8, regions for 16, and then manual. I don't know why they decided to put those regions like that instead of letting you just adjust them 4, 6, 4, 8, 16, or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure what their thinking was on that. But anyway, it is what it is. Most people are probably going to go manual just because I just don't know why you would want to do. Um, yeah, I mean, there is undo. I think undo may be shift undo because it is below it. It's confusing. So this is the arrows and the minus, which, right? Minus. But then there's an undo beneath it. So if you hit undo, okay, it is working. So there we go. Redo. So you have to use shift to do the undo and redo. And then I don't know, this right here, these arrows will change your chord type. I mean chord type, crop type, chop type. Good Lord, I can't even speak today. So threshold, regions, 8, 4, 8, 16, and manual. That's your types. All right, cool. We got all that. Here's your mutes over here. I totally blanked on that, but so let's get rid of this break. And let's do some hi-hats and we'll check out the mutes. I think that'll be easier. When it decides to, oh, because I'm still in chop mode. You have to get out of chop mode because even though this pad is on A13, when you go into chop mode, everything works that way. So you have to come out of chop mode, erase that break, then go in and we're going to grab some drums. Can you guys even see the bottom? No, you can only see the top. I'm going to put everything up here so you don't have to look down to the bottom too much because otherwise I have to zoom out a lot. I'll zoom out a little. That way you can see it. Okay. Let's go. Let's add some samples. So again, here, and we're gonna go down and get some kicks. Up top, these buttons here. Let me zoom back in so y'all can see it. It's still hard to see because the way the light hits it. This is preview, internal, and back. So if you want to go back a screen, you can use that. And this is internal. So these sounds are on the internal 8 gigs of space you have, right? I said I was gonna go hacks. So keep that in mind. I do not have an SD card in yet, so you only see internal, and I think you can change that from internal when you have an SD card. So I'm gonna load these sounds in. So there. There. So we got 3 hats. Ooh, I see acoustic. Sorry. I'm gonna load that one in. Okay, so there you go. Everything's clicking buttons. So if you don't like clicking buttons and you want screens, this will not be the device for you. So they're not in choke groups yet. So we've already loaded the samples. I'm gonna click off. One of the things I don't know, and I'm sure we'll just have to figure it out, is why there's no I don't see anything to show it in mono. So like my drums, I'm used to them being in mono, so it's kind of weird. But you can click this button up here and there's other menus buried beneath. So can you guys see that? Let me see if I can put my finger out of the way so you can see it. So it says trim, but if you click this, it says mix. So you can do the panning and the volume of the sample by using these. And then if you click it, this thing is so light and small. Then you have your amp envelope. I think that was that Ali Star asking me about that? It does have envelopes for each pad. Yes. It has envelopes for each pad, so I was getting there. So this is the amp envelope. This is the tune. So you got tune, semi-tune, fine tune, or warp. And this is play. So this is a mute group. So if you go to play, you can change the mute group with the, supposedly with this knob. But let me do it. Yeah. So see here, mono is right here. It's in stereo. So you got mono and then poly. We're gonna put this in mono, and then we're gonna change the mute group to 1. I don't know if I know it's hard to see, guys, but this screen is small, okay? It's a 2.4-inch screen, so don't expect much on the video. And there's an offset button if you want to do that. So now I need to do that to this one. I took my time on the first one. I'm gonna have to try to speed up here. All right, 1. It's already in mono. We're gonna put this one in there. So now you have pretty simple. Nothing to it but to do it. Filters. So you have the cutoff. There's a bunch of types of filters, okay? There's off, there's no filter, classic, LPF2, LPF4, high pass filter 2, 4, and then by the BPF 2 and 4. So there's your filters. Probably would just leave it in classic so it rolls off that little tail end of the sample. You have your cutoff right here, and then the res right here. All right, and then if you click over, there's a filter envelope for each pad. So again, decay, attack, depth, think that's pretty much what you have here. So that answers, I think, most of people's questions they would have. Trim is always going to be start, in, or loop. You go down. If you want to loop, you can set a loop point. Like for an instrument, you might use this, I guess. Some people would use it with samples where it loops and plays back and forth ping pongs. So that's kind of what that is. All right, you got that. Tap tempo is already on here. Metronome is on here. If you need to adjust the metronome, you can turn it on and off or hit it on record only. I'm going to leave mine on for the sake of this. There's also the ability, let's talk about MIDI. Somebody said MIDI, USB-C MIDI. So yes, it has USB-C MIDI, but it did not work. So I'm not sure if that's a bug they need to fix, but it didn't work. So what I have here plugged in is a cable that I used to use with the SP404 plugged into this, the MIDI in right there. This USB-C cable that I have going on, I don't even remember what I plugged it into the computer. Only reason I did that is because if we want to sample, I was going to show you that part. But yeah, that's why I have it there. Because it's easy to sample through. The MIDI portion is different. So below this thing, I'm going to have to zoom out to show you the MIDI. And we're going to test to see if it works. What's up, Lifted Noise? Good to see you, Raul. Give me 1 second. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to remove my deck saver so I can actually use the Osmos to try it out and see if it works. So 1 second. We'll put this up here for right now. This thing is really small. And I got to remove this. Uh-oh. Well, that didn't work out too well. All right, I'm back. All right, so let's see. All right, so MIDI settings, you guys can't see it. Let me pull it back here. I don't mind if it sits there. Shift, MIDI. All right, so right now it's set to external. Technically, that's what I'm using. The external would be the MIDI out from the keyboard into here. I don't know if this cable is going to work. It worked with the SP, but it doesn't seem like it. And I am on the latest firmware, as you guys see in the beginning. But if you see here, if you click in, you can turn it. Can you, hold on, you can't see that. Come on, Digital Zoom, work with me here. If you can kind of see this, it says, and it's so little, I know, USB external. USB external. So we're going to leave it external. I have it set MIDI channel in to all and MIDI channel out is 1, but technically this keyboard is running on MIDI channel 1, so it should just work. And I'm on the MIDI settings, external MIDI. Oops, not that button. External MIDI, so we're there. There's my settings. You can't even see my settings, but you can see classic keyboard, and I get literally nothing from it. And I think I was looking at who was it? Near Tao's stuff, and he couldn't get it to work either. He was confused. So I think there may be a bug. There's MIDI sync out, MIDI through. Then you can reset all that stuff. I'm not gonna reset it till I find out why it's not working. Um, MIDI channel all. So even if I change it to 1, I've tried changing before this filming. I tried changing it to all of them, and none of them worked. So I don't know if this cable is the problem. I don't have another 3.5 MIDI cable. I have to get one and see if it's this cable. Could be the cable that's a problem. But now let's do the external to USB. So I'm gonna unplug this because now that I know it don't work, there's no purpose in having it in here. Throw that across the room. All right, so USB is plugged into the computer. I need to plug it into here. Let me see if I can figure this out. Best way to get the MIDI into this device. We need to use a MIDI controller of some sort. Is there, does it look like it's water or something in mine? That must just be the way the light is hitting this reflecting. See that? You can see I thought water was on this thing when I looked down. Okay, so let's get out of here. Oh, 16 levels if you guys want to see that, since we can't get the MIDI to work. Go back to the sample. I showed this a little earlier, but with the hats, right? And then you could adjust the volume of the sample itself. But I kind of get frustrated with this little slider. I mean, it's fine. It works. Can you guys even see this? No, you can't see it because I'm too zoomed in. This slider, see how the light goes on and off? I mean, it works to do a quick adjustment, but then you could just go in here and go to mix and then adjust the volume here. To me, this is more accurate if you want to see what your dB is set to. What I would like to see, and maybe they do a shift. Let me see if shift. Oh, there's a kit volume. I didn't even see that. So if you go in here and hit shift when you're in the mix, there's a kit volume to adjust the whole kit. That's crazy. I'm sure we'll be finding stuff like that out as we go. Oh, volume. Sorry. Yeah. So per sample, obviously you can adjust the volume to get it lower so that you don't have. I don't like hi-hats that are like right in your face. But anyway, I was trying to figure out how to get it back to detent. That would be a cool thing to do, right? But when I hit that, it gives me the kit. You can pan the stuff, so that's dope. Um, the amp envelope, obviously we know what that is. Trim. Okay, cool. So MIDI, unfortunately, right now, I have not been able to get the MIDI to work. I tried a few things off camera. I still can't get the MIDI to work. So I think there may, and I could be wrong, but there may be a bug with this MIDI. Because I've tried it on both USB and external, and neither one have worked. So unfortunately, I can't promise you on that how that's going to work for you. That is not a deal breaker for me because I probably will record in more of my stuff than I would anything else. And it doesn't affect anything with sampling. Sorry, this thing sitting on the Osmos is crazy because the Osmos, drops off there, and then this thing. There are some pads. I don't know if you guys want to see this. I'm trying to cover up. See them little pads that are on there? So when you're just sitting on a flat surface, it's perfectly fine. There's no issues with that. Oh, what's up, Crazy Rabbit? Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Beats in Bed? Good to see you, man. Yeah, so I'm having issues with the MIDI. I don't know what that is. And I'm usually pretty good with the MIDI. I can figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. So I don't know if it's the cable this time because I don't have another cable to compare it to. I was gonna do this, and use the MIDI into it this way, but you would need the two pieces that connect to here to allow you to do that. So this is obsolete. Um, the Zoom L6 has a MIDI thing built into it, but I don't have the cables. Again, if I had the cables, I would use that, but I just don't have them, unfortunately. Now the USB-C MIDI does not or did not work for me, but I'm going to try it again for you guys. Maybe on screen it will work. So let me grab the cable. Okay, I got the cable. So it's a small one. I wish I had a longer one. We're going to test this just to see. This is just with the Osmos. And I've never had any troubles. I can get the Osmos to work with anything. What's crazy about the Osmos is I can leave it plugged in with the MIDI, the USB MIDI, and then I can still run the MIDI link or the MIDI 5DN pin ones right here. And I can run them both at the same time and have the iPad going with the computer going. It's crazy. I'm going to just plug this in real quick. Can we get some sound, please? All right, let me make sure I put it on MIDI config, USB. Can you guys see that? I'll zoom in on it for you a little bit. It's on MIDI, all channels. It should be getting something. I'm gonna switch. Did I hear something? No, nothing. So I thought, well, maybe you need to be in 16 levels to use the MIDI, or maybe you need to go note on to use the MIDI, right? But yeah, that didn't work either. So trying all the way up and down this keyboard too to get something. I'm not even using MPE, by the way. I'm just using a standard MIDI keyboard stuff here, but it doesn't work. So there's got to be something wrong. I don't know if it's with the device itself, or I'm hoping that Near Tao will figure it out, because he knows, he sometimes has the tools to figure it out. But I'm getting nowhere with this, with the USB MIDI. So I wish there was an easier way. There's no settings button. All the settings are within here, but there's no go to the settings type button, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I have any devices that don't have a settings. So these pads are important. There's a compressor here. By the way, this is the compressor if you guys haven't seen this. Attack, release, amount, and then you can pick the color type you want, or turn it on or bypass it. I'm gonna turn it off. Oh. You have half speed, double speed, right? That's for the MIDI stuff. Full level enable, disable, half sequence stuff. And if you hit this, you get another button here that says in boost. So you have a mount or in boost. And then you can bypass. I'm gonna turn the color compressor on, just see what it sounds like. Sucker is compressing, huh? Turn the release. Bypass it. It's kind of dirty. I like it though. You can take the color off. Can you guys even hear it? Is it? Are you hearing this come through the sound? By the way, we're using samples that are built into the internal for the MPC. It's not my own samples or anything. You need to do a FY update. Yeah, I already did the firmware update. That's what I said. Yeah. I did the firmware update already. When you go back to the beginning of this video, you'll see I was on the firmware update already done. So yeah, we're updated. It's still not working, but we're updated. Anyway, this compressor thing is kind of cool. I got the note thing on. I don't know what I thought for sure the note thing was going to work and let me control it with this, but no, sir. I even tried different settings in here to see if that would do it. Get nothing. So I'm not worried about it because I bought it for a sampler and it does what I need to do. Of course, I want it to work because then I can play some one-shot bass lines, but it's not a deal breaker. So, and I'm sure they'll figure it out and get there. I'll be honest, it looks better in person than what it looks on those pictures, and it's got that retro look. I mean, it's a little different. It's unique in its own way, but it's definitely cool. And I know it's for some people it's a nice looking device. The pad, like I said, is really good. You could probably sticker bomb this thing if you wanted to. I don't need to personally. I like the way it is. I should sticker bomb this speaker. This thing is terrible. Do not get this thing expecting this speaker to be good. It's a lie. That thing is, first of all, it's about the size of a 50 cents piece. If you've ever seen one of those, the speaker is literally that big, which is not that big. And it's so, I mean, they have all this real estate in between here. They could have filled either the screen a little bit bigger or they could have made the speaker a little bit bigger. But I would have said, screw the speaker and just give me a better screen. That's a little bit more real estate, but whatever. Let me stop complaining. I showed you guys the mute groups. There is an unmute all. So you could go shift, unmute all, and it turns all the mutes off. You're back to where you were. Or just turn them back on. And then we saw where you set the mutes. So I think we saw that right here. So you go to play. It's this middle button, click it to play, and then go down here and adjust the mute group. Or put it on poly where you can play. So you could do this one and switch it to poly. But at this point, what am I going to poly with a hi-hat? Anyway, that wouldn't make any sense. All right, tune. You guys want to hear the tune thing? Let me see. Which pad am I on? Good Lord. Why is it doing this? Why is it? Let's unplug this MIDI thing because I don't know what's going on with that anyway. It's like it muted. Oh, I got the mute on. That would explain it. Why is it doing this? Oh, mute's off. Oh, so that literally is muting that. This mute. So I'm confused. This mute has nothing to do with mute groups. I mean, with choke groups. This is its own mute thing to mute the pad. So that's why I couldn't even hear anything. I was like, what the heck is going on? All right. So disregard that. What I was talking about was the mute groups. All right, let's do this semi thing. It goes from -24. Can you guys hear that? Let me put full level on. Hold on. There we go. Because I had it off. That's much better, right? Okay. So that's your semitones, and then in the middle is just the fine tune. They call it semitune, right? Semitunes, fine tune, whatever. And then the warp. When the warp comes on, the semi and the fine go away. You can't use it. And then there's a sequence warp thing. I'm not saying I fully understand why the warp is what it is. I'm going to have to try it on some real samples. So, I mean, let's put a sample in. Back. I got some one shots in here too, which is why I'm like, the MIDI has to work. That's crazy. Some keys. All right, let's put that in. I don't even know what this is. Look at the sample. So this is just a single sample that's in the key of A minor. So I don't think that's really the best choice to do it. But for now, as we're learning, I'm just doing this. I'm easy like Friday morning. They should have called it the MPC Taste. 4 tracks would have been better. Some folks love the 1-track sequencer workflow. No software compatibility until April the 3rd. Oh, April through to April. 3.8 drops. Yeah, I'm not worried about software. I don't want to use software anyway right now. I'm more worried about, because I'm using Ableton. I'm not even using MPC software. I just want to learn the machine and enjoy the workflow, be honest with you. This sequencer thing means nothing. I mean, it's good for me because you select your BPM, etc. Hold that down, adjust the BPM, or you could tap it in. I'm going to put it at 80 BPM. The record quantize is on here, but you can turn it off on. Of course, you can sequence this. We all know that. How many bars do you want? Let's see what they max out. 128 bars. So it can have 128 bars on a sequence. That's really good. That's solid. So what? 32, 16 obviously is one. Hold on. No, these are actual bars. I'm tripping. That's legit. Okay. They took that after SP. I think they got that from them. 1, 2 bars, 4 bars, 8, 16, 32, 64, or 128. I'm not about to do 128. We'll do 4 bars. The quantize, you got your triplets. It's really basic here. So it's 1/8, 1/8 triplet, 1/16, so on and so forth, all the way to 132 triplets. I'll put that on a 16th. This one is the swing. So how much swing you're going to use. And then you can see where the sequence starts and finishes, etc., etc. Then there's a global BPM. You guys know that MPC has that global versus the other. It was called the MPC Sample right up until the last minute, and then they call it the sample. They changed that A here and the A on the front to an I and call it the simple. It really is simple. They definitely live up to the simple hype. And then if you hit here and sequence, you can adjust the editor here where it's etc. I know way I'm going up in this and editing right now, but in due time, maybe that'll be good. And then let's see, erase sequence. So I'm going to erase the sequencer. Let me see. I think that's how you do it. And then we'll get out of that because I've already set it. Go back to the sample. Okay, let's try this warp on this. Interesting. You can't use that. So let's turn that off and try. So one thing you could do is let's say you want to make a couple variations of this here. You could obviously put it in 16 levels and do it that way, or you could just make copies. So go shift, copy, pick this pad, and then press this one, and then release it, and it copies. Well, you can't see it. Dang it. Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit because you probably want to see this. So zoom out a little more. Just there. That's perfect. All right. Doesn't matter if you see the screen, but I'm going to do it again. So let's say I want to make a couple copies of this. It's pretty simple. Hit shift, copy, press this one, and then tell it where you want it to go to, release it, and it's done. Way quicker than most stuff does. All right, so again, shift, copy, press, release. Done. So now you have 3. So you can leave this one the same. Maybe fine tune this one. A semitone down. Maybe 3 up. And this one right there. All right, cool. So then you could, let's put them on a mute group. Hold on. So we're going to go put them on a mute group. We go to play. And this one's going to be on mute group. Well, as long as we get it to play. Mute group 2. That drives me crazy though, having to go back and turn it off, then turn it on, just to make sure it doesn't. There you go. So there you go. So you could set them up on different pitches and then do it that way. And then record a sequence in. Hit record. Oh God, hold up. I thought it erased the sequence. Good Christ. How do I erase the sequence? I'm gonna have to learn that. I don't know how to erase the sequence on this thing. It's driving me crazy because it should be. I was gonna put it at 80 and then erase the sequence. If we can figure that out, that'd be the next thing I'm gonna work on, is figuring out how to record and stuff. I was just trying to navigate initially, but yeah, I need to know how to erase the sequence or delete it or something. Anyway, that's a whole nother project. Try the sample record blank pad for the MIDI. Try that sample record. Sample record. Let me turn the mic off. You can adjust that, by the way, here. I'll do sample record for you, but I got to turn that stupid mic off. Drive me crazy. All right, let's sample record using the Osmos. So we'll send the Osmos into here. So you select rear. Why is it pushing my mic through? It's weird. Or USB. I'm not sure why it's. See this mic, I can't turn it down. And it's picking up my mic from inside. Oh, because it's sampling off of here. I'll have to mute my mic to do this. Hold on 1 second. Check. Can you guys still hear me? No. Okay, now I can turn my mic back on. Otherwise, it's picking up the volume. So that's pretty much what it is. You're going to hit the button, pick a pad that you want to record to, and then start recording. Can you guys hear me? Plug that USB in. Oh, I just did it through the back on the left internal. But yeah, you can plug the USB in too. Watch. So. And then, of course, you could turn the pad up. Normalize it, I guess. You can put this one on loop. right? Simple as that. And then you could use the skip back thing if you wanted to with the recall. So sample audio is going to go recall. And then you got to tell it which pad, I think. Oh, put it right here. See? You can put this one on loop. There's me talking in the dang recording. All up in the recording. Let's go back to trim. And then you could just pick something like that. And then you could use the skip back thing if you wanted to with the recall. See? So sample audio is going to go. That's how you get all up in the recording. There you go. So then if you want to trim it, you go, let me see if I remember already where trim is on one of the pads. I think it's right here, yeah. So click here, trim sample, and there's the trim. Put it on loop. This is terrible play, but I'm just showing you. On loop, you can just move this one button and it'll adjust where the start point is. Or turn it off. So, yeah. This is some terrible recordings, but whatever. And then, of course, you always can do shift undo. Undo set loop, undo. It's going to literally go through every undo. That's going to be crazy. But if you mess up something and you want to go back, at least you have an undo, right? Some devices don't even offer an undo. I'm not going to name any names. Erase, click the pad, and it's gone because it's terrible recording. But you get the point. You can use it in recording. You want to see recording on the other one? Hold on, let me do it for you real quick. All right, we'll use the USB-C and record for you. Let me get something to record because I'm using the iPad to watch your comments. Everybody, tomorrow's going to be streaming. Hold on one second. Let me fix this. All right. We'll turn this down so we don't have to hear that. We'll use MIDI and we will go to Omnisphere. You guys won't see Omnisphere on the screen, but you'll get the sense of it. So the problem is right now, because I have the microphone going through one, I only have so many USB-C ports. We're going to use this other USB-C right here. What is that noise? Is it because this is sitting on here? Shush it up, little computer. All right, let's go down to here. We'll just let's pick some keyscape, something that's piano. And then we'll grab Intimate Grand. That's fine. Can you guys hear the piano? Let me know if you can hear the piano. Yeah, I got this thing smashed. So we'll go shift sample, excuse me, and we'll change the source to USB-C or to USB. Can you guys hear the piano? Okay, cool. Thank you, Dirt McHurt. Wasn't sure. All right. All right. So we're trying to get sound into here. So we're on there. The threshold. You can change the threshold in here. You can change the monitor to auto. You can set the record length. or even have it where it records input effects. I'm not worried about all that. I just want to see. So we should go record sample, pick a pad, or pick that one. And we're getting no sound whatsoever, which is not good. So let me go into my settings on here on the computer. And the output. If you go, you guys can't see the computer because I got it on full screen. I use this thing called loopback. If you haven't heard about it, well, check on some of my videos about loopback, and it lets me route things right without having to be in an actual DAW. It only works on Mac, but you can get some like it on PC. So anyway, there's this thing called the MPC Sample, which you guys see in front of me, and it populates into the computer as a output. So I'm and there it is. So that's it, loud as it is, and it's creating a crazy echo, which I'm going to turn off. And you can see it's recording right here. So let's see, sample. So I'm gonna, and there it is. It loud as it is, and it's creating a crazy echo, which I'm gonna but that's just how easy. I mean, you plug it in, set it as the output, whatever you're gonna do with it, and then turn it on and do it. But the problem is because I'm running other sources through it, it's creating a feedback loop. So I would have to figure out how to set that up better to let you hear it more. But you get the point. It's pretty simple. Plug in, record, done. And it's just as simple on anything you do use it with. So let me turn the Zoom L6 Max off and see if I can just run the. So we don't get a feedback loop. 1 second. Okay. The mic will go off. Okay. And then I'll just record in something so you can hear it. That was crazy loud. I'm gonna have to figure out the settings if I'm doing this on live because it's a little different. But anyway, I was able to record something and it sounds terrible. But Sheesh. You got too many sounds going on at one time. It records great, guys. There's no issues. It's just me creating a feedback loop because I got too many things going through the mix of this Zoom L6, and you can't be running that crazy. You got to be mindful of what's going on. But anyway, it works, as you can see. Um, I could change this. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna take this off for a second. I'm gonna try to change it and just run the L6. 1 second, while I can't unplug the L6 completely because then it would send audio into a frenzy, like with the microphone going and me being able to talk. So I'm gonna try this again, this Sono. All right, let's delete this pad, see if this will work. All right, record. It gives me like no signal. It's so ridiculous. It should work, but I don't know why it doesn't. Um, it does not like the Sonos um, plug. So if you get this thing and you think it's going to work, it may work on your end, but for me, it's not working at all. So I don't know what the case is for this, but it should be able to just take the headphone out and run it in. Let me try a different port. 1 second. Oh, you know what? Part of the problem is I'm using two things here, and I wonder if this is causing the problem. Being plugged in twice could be the problem. Hold on. Because this is the output. So I had the in and the USB going. Who knows? Right? Everything is new. It's all trial and error right now. Let's just try to plug this back in. I have the record level way up too, so it should be able to. Still getting no signal. It should be getting nothing. So I don't think it likes this. Hates this thing. So I'm not even gonna waste time showing y'all that because it's just a burden. I find that it's easier to record in the inputs here, but at the same time, if I'm out and about and I was using my iPhone or using um, the iPad for any reason to record with this, I would probably just use the USB-C for that because that should be pretty straightforward. The iPad is your headphone out, going directly into here should give you no issues. For whatever reason, the Sonos is not the one. The MIDI is still whatever. I can't figure that out, but it is what it is. So this is pretty cool. One thing you could do is you could take and build yourself chord progressions by just making yourself a pack of chords with a certain sound, or make yourself some chord progressions where you record them in just the chords itself and hold them out for a little bit and then chop them up. That's what I used to do in Koala. And then I would chop them across the pads and then just play them back to get the chord progression I want. That's a really cool way to make this work for you. What's up, Davey? Good to see you. Anybody that I haven't spoken to, I apologize. I'm trying to go through this as quickly as possible and not waste too much of your time. But it's a lot of trial and error. And remember, this is just the first day. So we got some stuff to learn. I got to find out myself how I can make this thing work better with my setup. Everybody's setup is a little bit different. So if something is not working for me, don't think that it won't work for you. It's just we got different setups, right? You don't like the digital conversion? I'm okay. I'm with you on that. Is it She's Beats? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm okay with that too. Like not using the digital conversion is fine. Just keep in mind you're gonna need to have you some cables, right? Something like this, maybe, where you can plug into the 1/4 inch because everything's 1/4 inch on the back of this joint. And then you're gonna need like this and an adapter, like the Apple adapter or whatever one you have. I don't know what phones you have. This little guy here. Just plug it in, hook your phone up, and just run that joint right to it. And you should be good. Put my headphones back on so I can hear what in the world I'm saying. But yeah, you should be able to just do this and plug right in and be good. So I could, in theory, let's just do it real quick. I think this is easier, but some people really want that USB-C because they don't want to have to carry multiple cables. And I totally respect that. I really do. Um, I'm doing this without looking, but I can't deny that if I do this, wait, hold on. Oh, I got to set the output. That ain't going to work without there we go, 3.5. I have to be quiet and not talk or it's going to run my voice through it. and we got to change the setting. So 1 second. You do have to go back and change the input. So if you have it set to USB, it doesn't just pick up any input back there. You have to change it to rear. But now you can see my voice is coming through. So I got to shut up, right, to be able to make it work. So watch this. If you keep hitting the pad, apparently it goes back. So 1 second. I guess my mic's back on. I mean, that's recording in mono though. So, and it's weird because, hold on. User error right there. I didn't push the cables in all the way, by the way. So if you want mono, that's one way to do it. Yeah, don't do that. All right. Sorry, user error. I got my hat all in the way. I'll figure some setup out here with this thing. But anyway, for right now, it's all cocked this way because of the um, osmosis in the way. All right, let me fix this. So record. I gotta be quiet. But I'll be talking again. Oh, it did it again. What is up with that? You know what? I must have said it wrong. Hold on, let me go back. Nope, I said it. That's so weird. Right, left. Why are we not getting stereo? Rear. Okay, so it should be. Weirdly, I'm only getting a left signal, I think that is. I'm not sure why that's the case. So crazy. This is the input. Why are you recording? I'm gonna switch them and see if that makes a difference. This cable must be. All right. So it's good to see. See, look at that. I switched the cables and now it's working. That's so weird. So if I put the red in the left, it doesn't work. If I put the white, what? Anyway, okay, it is what it is. User error right there for sure. Let's go out of sample. We're gonna clear it, and then we're gonna hit the record. By the way, I'm playing free, so I didn't set this to no length, but you could set it to a certain length that you want for the amount. Anyway, that was just me messing around. So that's Keyscape. And then you could put a loop on that if you wanted to. Or play it, chop it up, or whatever you want to do. Feels like it's like there's your amps, tune. By the way, you could resample that technically with your playing there, with your effects. Or change the filter. Here's the classic. But yeah. So one thing they did, let me stop this thing. One thing they did do good here, I like, is let's say you leave this and you go to a different, and you go back. It'll tell you, it'll show an arrow if it's maxed out. Hold on. Turn the loop off. Well, it was showing the arrow. I don't know why it's not now, but there was an arrow that was telling you, oh, you need to turn it all the way this way to make the adjustment. So anyway, that's pretty cool that it's there. You got these different filters. Who's to say they won't add more filters? Of course, you have the pad play stuff that you can do over here. It's pretty loaded for, I think it's, if I had to say, it's really a combination of a bunch of different devices. Is it better than the Move? Not really. It's just different, right? But is it better than the SP? Workflow wise, absolutely. And as far as being intuitive, it squashes a lot of those devices because they just made it really user friendly, simple. Where is it going to go from here? I have no clue. Where would I like to see it? I have no clue. I don't know what it's missing yet that I'm missing personally. I think it's got everything I want. I do not want it to be a DAW. I got Ableton for that. I'll use that for that. Sorry, I'm not getting to all y'all's comments. It's hard to show all this stuff and talk and keep up. It's about what side you plug in first. Maybe it is. What's up, Linda's son? Good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping in. Get mine tomorrow. Yeah, I was supposed to get mine tomorrow. I canceled my Amazon order because I knew it was at the store, and Amazon was like, "Oh, we're gonna give it to you tomorrow." I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the store and just buy the thing. There's no point in waiting. I want to hurry up and get into it to see if I can learn it. Um, so I do think it's better intuitively than the SP44, but I think they took a lot of features that the SP44 already has and just made it easier to use, more intuitive. Um, which is why on 404 day, I hope that maybe, just maybe, Roland will drop either a new device that is really cool, that competes and makes it fun, makes their device more fun, or just give us some updates to make the SP404 workflow nicer than what it is. The pads feel great on this. Again, they are about the size of a quarter. Um, the screen is not too small. For you guys, it's probably small because you can't, because I'm having to zoom in on a camera to show you, but it's really not that bad at all. Um, and this thing is tiny in comparison to most, but I will say I did do a video where I kind of showed you with an iPad. This is a case for an iPad. If I drop it down on here, it pretty much covers it. So it's about the same width as this Magic keyboard here. So it's not that bad. It's not that crazy thick. Oh my God, I can't get this in a backpack. It's not that big at all. And if you have, I don't have the Astrolab anymore. I got rid of it. I sold it, in fact, to get the Move and get this. Um, I was going to get this either way, but the Move was on sale, so I had to get that. So for me, those two devices will work great. One is better at step sequencing. This one is better at everything, at sampling and more intuitive with regards to that. So I think if you have any type of synthesizer and the MPC sample together, unless you're just a straight sample everything type person, you'll enjoy this machine. If you are just a sample only person, you'll enjoy this machine. 2 gigs inside, 8 gigs internally. So if you don't have an SD card, because right now SD cards are crazy expensive. Maybe we get a 505 day. That would be pretty cool. Shoot, I even like the sound of the what was the 606. So the 606 is really nice too. Um, I'm gonna probably end up taking the card out of my what is this thing called? My Zoom L6 because I really don't record in that thing. So I might just take it out and use that to put in my MPC unless I can find a crazy deal on some memory. Yeah, I think the memory max that I've heard is like 1 terabyte. So if you got more than a terabyte of stuff, you're on the wrong machine. Because this thing, I don't really see why you need much more than a terabyte. That's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of space. I think I've never seen yeah, I think it's 1 terabyte crazy rabbit. Max external SD card is 1 to 2. Yeah, I think I've read one. So, um, but that's so much space. I mean, my goodness, you could put a collection of sound on this thing and go to town. You know what? We should try one thing. Give me 1 second. I want to see some if it works. 1 second. I don't think this will damage this, but would you guys like me to try it? It's a, and if you know it'll damage it, you better let me know. No, I'm just kidding. It's the SD, it's a hard drive. I was thinking it can transfer data. So I wonder if I plug this into the back, will I be able to access a hard drive like this? This hard drive might be worth a lot right now. I might be holding gold in my hand. It's like a terabyte, a SanDisk terabyte that I've had forever. Is there a way to hook it up into interface with headphones instead of using the actual unit input? You mean plug your headphones into the back of here? Like right here into the headphones? Or do you mean plug them into this? These are the 1/4 inch outs, and then there's a 3.5 headphone right here. So I'm assuming I don't know exactly. That's Kahari. Can you maybe give me a little more explanation of what you want to know, and I'll try my best to answer it. Um, yeah, it's whether it work. Here, I'll try it real quick. I don't think you can access it, but we'll try it. All right. So we're plugging in a hard drive. We'll go to sample. Yeah, I don't think you can access it. So it's no external hard drive is gonna. I don't. It shouldn't work because this thing should easily plug in and work. I better put this down gently since it's worth like about $1 million, right? Anytime you find one of them, I might have to go trade that thing. So that's what they need to do. I'd be collecting those like SD cards and selling them on the side. They're gonna have to put the SD cards on lockdown in the store because people are gonna be trying to steal that stuff now. It keeps going up. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay. How about the sound engine on MPC? What's up, Soulcraft? MPC sample and the SP404. Any answers? Sound engine? You mean just like how good does it sound? I think it sounds great. I mean, of course, that's gonna all depend on what you run it through. If you put it through headphones, it should sound whatever your headphones are sounding like. The output is whatever you run it to. If you run it to speakers that are really good, I ran it to some cheap speaker, a little Soundcore cheap speaker, and it sounds okay. But it's not like, if you run it through some studio monitors, it's gonna sound better for sure. But yeah, you can plug the headphones in if you want and just use it. Just plug your headphones in. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna unplug this now. That's what this is. right? Just a headphone. If you take this off, it's just here. Plug it into your iPhone, iPad, Android, whatever, and just run some sound straight in with something like that. So that cable will work, or you could get a USB to USB-C and just run it straight from there to your device, to your phone. Like if I'm out and about, I'm not carrying around this. I'm just not. I would prefer just to. I do enjoy going through this thing back here, but I just wouldn't want to carry around all this. I think my phone would be enough. The more I can eliminate cables, the better. But I'm not against it. I actually do enjoy running it through there. But when you're out making a song or a beat or something, you're not. I just don't know that you're wanting to do all that. This is more for out and about, sitting on your couch, going in the woods, chilling somewhere in the doctor's office, waiting, and you're doing something while you're there. Um, it's not a studio device. It is meant to just get you started. Kind of like what Ableton Move is. It's more of a get you started. You can make some little simple tracks on it. But when you really want to get down and dirty, you're going to go get your Ableton software, or you're going to go get, the MPC software, or if you have a Live 3 or XL, you're going to use that for the real heavy processing stuff. So that's just my opinion. There's no plugins, it's all samples. Um, I heard this playing in the car and it was, yeah, if you play it in the car, I mean, it's whatever your speakers sound like is what it's going to sound like. It doesn't, I don't think there's any coloration. The compressor would have some coloration. I mean, there's a little color to that compressor, but that's really it, right? There's nothing else there. So see how I touch that? Can you guys see that? And there's a little arrow that comes up in this saying you need to turn it this way to turn it back down. So they made it that intuitive to where it's, same thing here. If I touch it and it's not in the direction it was, then I have to go back this way and then back to adjust that. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I do want to figure out this MIDI because it frustrates me when I think that we should be able to use MIDI. Um, I would love that to be fixed. They got a crazy mess load of MIDI stuff and you can't even use MIDI. I don't know. I'm going to try it into Ableton and see at some point. Not right now, but I'll do it later. Let me try to answer more questions. Back pocket test. It's definitely not fitting in your back pocket. If you can put 11 point, if you can put an 11-inch iPad in your back pocket, I ain't saying nothing else. But if you can put 11-inch iPad in your back pocket, you are an incredible person, deserving of something. I don't know what, but something. So, and I'm being honest. I'm gonna close out Keyscape. Trying to get this menu to come from behind here. Let me minimize this. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know anybody putting no. It's definitely bigger, and I just showed you that with the case. Let me zoom out. I'll show you one more time, zoomed out. There you go. There it is. This is the 11-inch for the Magic keyboard for the iPad. And if you put it next, let's just put it next to it. See if I can get it in screen. There, you can see it there. So it's basically the same size as that. If I do this, you can see it's about the same width as this, but this is a little bit longer than it. Just a little bit. I mean, like less than an inch. So it's about 11-inch iPad. That's the best way I could describe it. So imagine that, and it's definitely not fitting in your back pocket. You'll be done broke all your knobs off, and yeah, that'd be the beat up. That'd be the most beat up MPC sample you ever seen. I would love to see them make a deck saver for this because I'm into the deck saver more than I am trying to get cases and stuff. but a deck saver over the top of this would be pretty cool. That's me personally. I would like concealed MPC license. It does have a, you do have to register it if you want to hit the update. So just keep that in mind. So is this a keeper? For me, yes, because I don't have any other sampler devices other than the Ableton Move, which is on the way. So yes, it would have to be. See, I would like to keep. I've been waiting for years, at least 4 years, for a portable MPC sample type thing because I like MPC stuff, their workflow for the sampling, but I really did not like MPC Live and XL because I don't want to work within that DAW system. If I go into a DAW system, I'm going to Ableton. So for me, this is not like a DAW. It's more like the SP404. And I like that. I'm more intrigued by that. It's small. That's a plus for me. Yeah, I agree, Davey. And I mean, my Osmos is taking up so much dang space on this desk. But at some point, I'm going to move the Osmos over probably to the right a little bit for space purposes. And then I'm going to drop the MPC sample to the left of it. That's my goal, I think. I would put the Osmos down below my desk because I have a standing desk. But the problem is um, I need to be able to see the settings. And yeah, so, and sometimes I like to unplug from the Osmos stuff. So I need to be able to move it around. So that kind of kills that vibe. Thoughts so far? What's up, Rivet? Is it Rivet Beats? Yeah, Rivet Beats. How are you liking it? I like it. I'm still learning it, but I like it a lot. It's really not. It's super easy to use. I can't say that enough. That it's super easy. I haven't really messed with the skip back recall, but it works just fine. Anything you pass through it, like me just playing Keyscape in. I mean, you can chop it up. It's pretty simple. And then just move through your chop types or go to manual or whatever you want to do. And you can adjust all your samples here. You can zoom in if you want with holding shit. I mean, it's a great device. I don't have, like I said, I don't have anything negative to say. Put your regions if you want. I mean, they made it so easy to do. I mean, you know, I don't really know. 16 if you want to go crazy. Or just do it manual. Most people are probably going to use that manual chop. The threshold is okay. I mean, it may work better on like a drum break, because there's not much. You can see there's only 2 chops right now. And I think you can add a chop if I'm not mistaken. Is it this one? Oh no, that just switches the regions. But anyway, that's what it is. And it's super simple. If you like a super simple sampler like Koala, like the SP404, I think you'll like this one because it's very much similar to this. I think it's a combination of MPC, SP404, TE, KO2, and what else would I put with it? Just those 3. If you put those 3 together and you took some of the best parts of each one and then made it an MPC vibe, you're kind of getting that same vibes. So if you like those, you'll like it. Sample the Osmos, I did that. Yeah, I did that earlier, and you'll have to go back and watch the stream because I'll have to hook it up to do it again. But yeah, we did that. We sampled a little bit of Osmos, and I will be sampling more with it. But I need to work on getting the camera situated and the way the routing is right now, because every time I bring a new device in and change something, it's like I'm learning all over again how to do it. So I don't know. Just that's the way it is. That's the nature of it. But yeah, it is a fun device, and trying to get the zoom. I'm terrible at zooming. They would never hire me as the camera guy because I'm messing up. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It's a cool device. And like I said, it looks better in person than on the pictures. What's good? Hey, what's good, Lou? You think Koala will have an update to use the MPC like they did with the integration? Probably not. I don't think Merrick is like, I think he did that one because it just made so much sense. But I don't think the SP, I mean, we'll see what Roland does, but I don't think he will make something for the MPC. I think he's busy doing other features for Koala that he's focused on. And that would be the MPC reaching out to him more or less, because he didn't reach out to Roland. I think Roland reached out to him to ask him if they could, integrate their device with it, which is really smart because Koala and the SP404 are pretty good. I have to admit that. What's up, doggy? Good to see you. Tapes. Okay. Can you turn off or change the blue LEDs on the pads? Oh, you talking about on this? I don't see a way to do that, to be honest with you. That's a good question. But there's no. Let me see if in the projects. So in projects, you have load project, save a project, new project, or card SD access. I don't have an SD in there. So there's nothing there. No, I don't see any way to do that. Let me see if I hit. No, shift bank. Let me see what that does. Oh, that's just shifting the bank. Yeah, we know how to do that. So yeah, unfortunately, no. Like I was saying earlier in the video, if you were here, there's no way to erase banks of stuff. You have to erase each pad individually, which is a pain in the butt. So hopefully they'll fix some of that stuff where that it make it a little bit easy. Messes with your circadian rhythm. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that because I've never felt like it bothered me, but that's interesting. I didn't. Yeah, I'm sure for some people that would be. Turning that light off though, I don't know. I mean, you don't need the light, but you kind of need the light. You need to know what pad you're on, right? So you could look in this corner over here. You see the A. Can you guys see this? Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit closer. You can see the A, and then and here it tells you A01. So you could, in theory, just use that to know which pad you're on. But it's so small. I mean, on a 2.4, I'm looking at it in person and I'm telling you it's small. So it's kind of small. I mean, now if they ever come up with a way to project this screen to like a computer or an iPad, that would be really nice. They should make an app. That's my opinion. They should make an app that would allow you to connect with it and then use it on your iPad or iPhone. And then you could like access your stuff and make beats like that. That would be pretty cool. Bring their own MPC app out that works with it. I think that would be really good. Research blue light technology. Now, I know there's something with blue light that affects people's eyesight, but one of the things I was going to say is the blue. Let me see how the blue. You only see the blue typically, I think, if you have a sample. Let me just bring us. Is it blue now? Let's put this jazz. So when do you see the blue light? Because I see a little blue there where it shows that, but I'm trying to see where. Because it's not blue right now, unless you're seeing blue somewhere else. It could be the way the camera's reflecting on something up here. That if you're talking about in the screen that you're seeing blue, it does show blue on the loop where it tells you loop over there for these blue pads. But I don't see any blue anywhere else. Unless you're seeing a reflection of light hitting the camera and casting some blue onto something. That could be the case. But yeah, I don't have any blue lights anywhere else. Like when I'm looking at it on the screen, because I'm watching on the iPad, what you're looking at, it looks like it's something blue right here, but it's nothing on the actual device. I think it's just a little bit of light. Maybe it's light from the Osmos projecting off the, so I don't know, reflecting. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna go down the rabbit hole. I'll probably then I would never buy any device. I'd have to get rid of my Osmos. Nope, not doing it. Um, it would be cool if they had performance effects in this. They do have performance effects in it. I mean, you can latch any of these effects in it, and they're right here. Like if I latch that delay right there. But the problem is, how do you get back and not go out of? Oh, there you go. It works. See? So that's a delay. So you can latch a delay on, go back into the pad effects, take that off. You could have a little bit of delay and reverb, and how hard you press the pad in determines how much of that effect is hitting it. And then you can just latch it where you want or perform with it. So I think you can latch, I thought you could latch 4. Yeah, you can latch up to, let's see how many you can latch. We'll do a little lo-fi and a little granulator. Is that all? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can only latch 4. Something's gonna unlatch that. So you could have up to 4, and each one of these, if I'm not mistaken, has its own 3 knobs down here to change. Um, so yeah, you can use that and then go back to your. Can you guys hear that? That's a cymbal. So I'll be doing some weird stuff like that. You already know I'm gonna get into that. And then you could just resample that by using the sample record and then turn it to resample. And then, so let's just do that. So this is that pad. All right, we're gonna go resample, turn it to resample like that. Press the pad. I think that's how you do it. I thought the resample was automatically doing it. Did not do it automatically. Hold on. Oh, you're talking about the way this pad lights blue when you're on a different pad. Okay, now I get what you're saying. Did it kill my effects? I may have to turn that on too, like the effects, knob effects, pad effects. So I have the pad effects on. My sample does not sound like my sample anymore. Let's put this one in. There we go. So that's what these pad effects on, right? But dang, what does color do? Let's take the granular off. Take that off. Try the color. And then you can adjust how much of that color you want. So there you go. So they do have effects, and yes, you can resample, but I can't remember what button to press to resample. That's terrible. I'll have to look that part up. Sorry, guys. I'm not that well versed in it. I wasn't one of the early get it a month ago guys that you see on there that had it a month ago. Unfortunately, they've been playing with it for so long. They know all the quirks and whatever. And then, of course, you have undo and redo, and we can unlatch all this stuff. So yeah, beat repeat, ring mod, comb filter, half speed, chorus, flanger, phaser, low pass, high pass, band pass, filters, granulator, reverb delay, and a reverse stopper. Those are the ones that you have. I don't think there's no nothing else hidden. Then over here under your turn that off. Knob effects. I think the knob effects are legit. Just the knobs. Yeah, whatever. And then if you go shift, flex beat is right here. I don't have nothing playing. So you can throw that on if you want. Sample. And then select effects here. So then you have the effects select thing where you can bypass it or use all pads. And then you can pick which one you want to do. This is, I think, for the I thought this was for the knob over here. Could be wrong. But anyway, tape emulator, vinyl emulator, and a vintage. So you got vinyl crackle, pitch, tone. Go back. Select. How do we know which knob it's on though? You could tell it to be on all pads, or you could just select this one. Oh, that's cool because you can hear the vinyl. I don't know if you guys can hear that crackle coming out of the vinyl. But anyway, that's pretty cool. So I'll be using VU 202, which is a free app at this moment. It's in beta, but he's giving it to you guys for free on iOS. Works on the iPhone, and it's basically an SP202. I love that app and what it does for the lo-fi on the sound. Oh my gosh, the crackle is insane. Check out some of my videos on that. Go to his website, to vu900.com and grab that thing for free for iOS. And he's working on it constantly. And that thing has the color character that you want. It's a fun little app to play with and make music too, kind of like Koala. But imagine if you couple that with Koala and then you bring in the MPC sample. Now you got all that extra um, coloration to get in here and have fun and just go to town on your stuff. But I think they did a tremendous job on this device. And I would highly recommend it because it's fun. That's the real reason I'd recommend it. It's fun. And I'm just barely getting into it. This is literally day one. It's only been like 3 or 4 hours. And I haven't read a single manual, by the way. I just was watching people's videos and just looking at it. Um, yeah, you can sequence the MIDI. I mean, you can go in and record the MIDI if you want, and then, but I couldn't get the MIDI to work if you're talking about using, well, it's on this side, using the MIDI to try to control it. I cannot get the MIDI to work. So I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll work MIDI out for sure. I know that, but I can't get the MIDI in. And that's what I'm more concerned with, being able to take a keyboard. And if I have like a bass line I want to play or a one shot, because there's no scale locking. They didn't put scale stuff on here. So you don't have, you can go, when you go to 16 levels, I mean, it's chromatic, right? It's not, and you only have 16 pads to work with. They don't let you go through the banks. So the keyboard is going to be the crucial part of that. If you want to play in stuff, either you got to have a real instrument that you're plugging in, or you're going to have to use the USB-C and just play in and record it in. Or I think you can hook an instrument from iOS to it, because I think Andy showed that on the video. And then you can use the pads to play it if you want, or plug in a MIDI controller and play and then record that in. You didn't use an empty pad. What do you mean I didn't use an empty pad? This was the pad. I put the crackle on it, the vinyl emulator. You can adjust how much of that pitch, crackle all the way, then adjust with it. That's a lot of that crackle sounds good too though. Although it fades out pretty quick there for some reason. But yeah, I mean you can do poly. Yeah. Oh, is the MIDI polyphonic? Yeah, I would imagine so because you have to set the sample to either mono or poly. So if you set it to poly, then you should be able to play through it. Yeah, for the MIDI is the thing I don't know though. An empty pad. Oh, for the MIDI, you saying I need to use an empty pad? Is that what you're saying? Why would I use it? I don't know if that makes sense to me. If I put a sample on here, I don't want it to be empty. I want to play the sample via the MIDI. So for MIDI, you needed an empty pad. So I'm not sure why I need an empty pad. You have to explain that to me because I don't understand why I would use an empty pad for MIDI. I'll try it again real quick. So let's see. I'll try to figure it out for you. I'm gonna use the USB though. Although I wouldn't typically do this, I'm gonna just use the USB. Okay, so you're saying use a blank pad. Here's a blank pad. Shift MIDI config. Let me make sure it's set to USB. Set to USB. I'm gonna go back. There's nothing in this, it's blank. But you can see there's no, even if I go 16 levels, there's nothing there. If I go shift note on, there's nothing. Loop lock. I'm not trying to loop lock anything. Shift here. Source. Oh, I'm set on resample. Hold on, let me put it. We're not pulling sound in from the USB. That's not going to work because that's not the USB. That's the other thing. Okay, so let's see. Rear source, monitor, auto. Okay, so that's not it. So yeah, I'm not sure what you mean when you say use a pad. Can we hear the MPC Sims on the keys you had? The Sims? MPC Sims. Oh, you mean, wait, what do you mean by that MPC Sims? You have to explain what you mean. No, you send MIDI with an empty pad. That's how Andy did it with Jack. I'll have to watch that video, see what he did. You're saying you send MIDI with an empty pad, but I'm not sure how to make it a MIDI a track. So in other words, I'll have to look at that video, but it'll have to tell me which pad to use because I have no clue. Why do I still have this effects knob on? Turn that off. Yeah, I'll just watch the video and see. But if you guys have seen it, yeah, man, for travel is cool. Um, Other way you can you send MIDI out with the empty pad to say the MIDI mode via the USB and record the audio back. Oh yeah, you're talking about using this device for the MIDI, but I'm trying to get MIDI in. I'm trying to put me a one shot, let's say sample on here, and then play it with MIDI across the keys. That's the MIDI I'm hoping for. If that's not the case, that would be kind of a bummer. I mean, that's not the only reason I got it, but I'm just saying that's kind of a bummer. Yeah, because I get that. Like, this is pad. You're talking about pad MIDI in. So you can put the pad MIDI in on. Let me see. Select. That's controlling an instrument that's passing through the USB-C. That makes sense, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to use a sample in here and play it across the MIDI. And right now, the only thing you can do is use 16 levels as far as I know, which I have no sample on here anyway. So let me go here and grab a bass. All right, let's grab that one. So see how that's there? What I was hoping is take my Osmos, run it in here via USB, and play the sample across the keys. But it doesn't do it. So I don't know how to do that. It's just showing the step list editor. So shift step. There's no events. Yeah, see, there's no events on it. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. Input configuration, we know that part. So yeah, we gotta, that's what I want to figure out though, is how, let me see, maybe it's in here. Play mono mute group. We don't need a mute group. And this is all filter base. So yeah, this is what I want to do. Let me see. Maybe you do this. Let me see. 100% loop. No, that's definitely not it. Pan volume sensitivity. Yeah. So I'll have to do some research on that. I watched the Andy Mack video again. I mean, I didn't see the one that he did. I saw the original one he did, not the other one. So I got to look at that. Bro, can you show the SP1200 mode? What do you mean? SP1200 mode? You mean like an effect? Is that what you're talking about? Like one of these, like the vinyl crackles and different things that you can do with effects? So you hit shift here, and then you can scroll down with the vinyl emulator or the tape emulator or the vintage. I'm assuming that you're talking about the vintage emulator, which is right here. And then you pick which pad you're going to put it on. I'll put it on this one. I think that's how you do it. Pick the pad, go back to the sample. And then if you go here, you're talking about this. So there's MP60, 3000, 1200, and 1200 ring. I think that's what you're talking about. Let's see what the 60. It's just a sound emulation on top of what you already have. And to be honest, I don't think it sounds that great. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe some people think it's great, but if I'm being honest, I don't like the ones in the MPC either. They don't sound good. The emulations of stuff. Now, the only one that sounds good to me is the free one that iOS and desktop has, which is VU 202. That one sounds really good. I mean, like it sounds like it's legit and it's free right now to try. So you might as well try that out. But yeah, this to me, I'm not sure I'm hearing anything that just like, ooh, that sounds amazing. Turn the sample up. Filter tune. See right here, I don't see a way that you can go octaves down. Let me see if it does octaves down. Which is why I would like to be able to plug my keyboard in and actually control this. So I'm not sure what that's doing. Maybe you can hear a difference, but I don't hear it. Um, Intentionally degrading the sound quality. Yeah, I mean that makes sense that it's supposed to be doing that. I just don't hear a drastic difference to where to me it's like, ooh, that's really cool. And you know what? When I hear it in the MPC, it doesn't sound that great to me either, though. But that's just me. It doesn't matter. That's just opinion. Everybody has their own opinion on what sounds good. But that's what you're talking about is the emulator. Let me do this. All pads and then sample. So maybe you like it though, and if it colors your sounds, then cool. Put it on some chords. Go back. It'll have to be something inside of here because I have not put my own samples in. So I don't have any users. We can try it on a melody. Let's see. See, they have all these one shots in here. So obviously I want to, let me see. Let's find piano. We'll just load in a piano. We'll have to set this to, hold on, we'll have to set this to, let me set it to poly. There we go. Okay. Yeesh. This is not how I would play music like this. I would prefer just to record in my own. This is terrible. But I was just doing it so you could hear the thing. So let's go back to mono. Yeah. So I mean that's cool. I think this thing is, if you're trying to do instruments, do not buy this thing for instruments. Buy this to be a sampler that is simple that you take on the road. If you want instruments, buy something off of iOS if you can afford it. Buy something on the computer, or buy yourself an actual instrument and then play into here and record and sample yourself playing. This is not for that. This is for sampling. These little one shots are cool if we can figure out how in the world this MIDI is supposed to work. But right at this present point, I don't know what in the world I'm doing with that because I'm not getting it. Or if you saw Andy Mack's video, he did show you how you can plug in, record from a device into the MPC in time. That was dope. I mean, but he's using a Moog from an app for Moog. He's not using a sound inside of here. So this is just a simple sampler. You can mess around, you can come up with some cool stuff, but yeah, you're not gonna get a whole piano up in here and then make it sound. It's just not gonna happen. Let's turn that volume down. So there's your effects that you wanted to hear. I showed you those. It degrades the sound. Personally, me, I would rather them just give me a sample bit reduction thing where you can just adjust it, which is kind of what the lo-fi is doing anyway. So you could just go to like the effects pads, turn the lo-fi up and latch it. If you want it all the way up, let's do that. And then you could put like a low pass filter on and latch it. I'm going to turn the effects knob off. And then if you go back into the sample, you can get crazy. That's really like overboard crazy. But you could go back in and adjust it, take the latch off, and maybe just put a little bit on there and latch it. Same thing with the lo-fi, just a little bit. Maybe, oh, here's your bit crush right here. So check this out. 24. Bring it down to 12 because you want to be right at. I think shift should help you to get closer. No, it's not really that good like that. I thought it was going to be better. Okay. And then the decimeter thing, just adjust it a little bit. And now you should be able to go back into a sample. And it's all gritty. It's called pitch aliasing. Yeah. Yeah, but the ones that's doing the emulation, I don't really know how good they are because you can't really adjust it. Not in this device at least. And in the MPC Live, if I remember right on the 2, they had that little emulator on there and it wasn't that good. Every time I heard it, I was like, it just sounds cheap. I don't know. That's my opinion. But if you want something good for free that I'm telling you will sound really good is vu900.com. Grab the 202 for iOS for free or desktop if you don't have iOS and use that thing and you'll thank yourself later as the sound is really good. Or if you have Koala, use the bit cooker. And Koala, just take the bit cooker and put it on the track. Adjust the what percentage of the bit you want, like if you want a 12-bit or 8-bit or whatever, and then just do it from there. That bit cooker is actually decent. And if you don't want to use that, then there is the bit juggler, which is made by Tone Booster, and it's on iOS as well as desktop. You can use that thing; it's pretty good. Those sound good, and you get more from it. But if you that just don't, I don't know. I guess I expect a little bit more from this stuff. Now, what you could do is, and this sounds okay. I think the vinyl cracker on here is actually pretty good. The tape emulator, where you can adjust the noise and the wow. You could use this, maybe some resampling. I even think the stuff on the SP404 is solid too. I mean, it's not free because you got to buy the machine, but you know, go with the 202 if you want that lo-fi filtered sound. Definitely put some filters on it. That'll help. You can doctor it up, resample, etc., etc. But I just think the vintage emulators that you're asking about, unless you like them, they just they're just what they are. That's all I can say about that. I think the effects on here are okay. If you don't mind some cheap effects. That's how they sound to me. They sound very thin and kind of not, and I'm giving you a sample that they have on here, so that just sounds real. Yeah, I don't know. Turn the latch off on that, latch off on this one. You could sit there and play with it and doctor it, but I don't hear it for me. Comb filter. We could try the comb. Let's try it. Lock it in. Adjust the speed. And then go back to the sample. Now, if you want some like interestingly quirky, weird, experimental sounds, I think this stuff sounds great. I mean, that's definitely hitting the weird status for me. I'm feeling that weirdness there. This could filter it out or something. I mean, it's okay. Again, it's to each his own when it comes to this stuff. Cause I don't want to tell you it's bad because I have other preferences. I just said it was bad. But anyway, I have other preferences when it comes to effects. And I like I like my effects a little bit more quality, higher quality effects to, and this thing is okay. Just like I'm not going to sit here and tell you that speaker is good when I know good and well it's not. That thing is not good. You do better just plug some headphones in if you really want to hear something on it. And I think it was another I forget her name, Sarah, yeah, that's her name, Sarah. She said it in her video. I respect her for that. She said that speaker's not good. She was just being honest, and she got the thing from Akai for free, so she didn't pay for it. Yeah, I think it is a dope machine. It's fun. I think the pitching, the filtering, the tuning, the time stretch is okay. Um, I mean, I would say it's as good as something like from Koala, and Koala's pretty good in my opinion. Um, yeah, but I don't want to tell you something is great if it's not. I'm not going to do that either. I think the workflow is crazy easy. If you bring your own instruments to this thing, um, okay, so Ali Star, good to hear you say that. So the KO2 hits the aliasing naturally. See, that's what I'm talking about. So if it hits it naturally, that's good. Right? All it sounds the best on Rhodes chords. The aliasing comes from the change in the sound and how it's interrupted. Yeah. Or interpreted rather. So you'd need to try it over some chords. Yeah, for sure. But like I took a sample and ran it through VU 202 on the iPhone. It sounds ridiculously good. When you use the hi-fi, the standard, I use those for the drums, and then I put all my samples, I run it through Lo-Fi 1. And that alias in there, it sounds so good. The Akai 950, the emulator that he made for that, if you haven't tried the demo, try it. Oh my gosh, the filters and the aliasing effect in there and the way you can crunch it sounds really good. But it takes somebody putting some real time into getting it. But maybe you're right. Maybe it'll sound better on some chords. I mean, we could. I don't have any chords in here, unfortunately. I would have to plug something in and play you some chords. But I'm gonna be getting off anyway because I think my phone's gonna probably die if I don't get off. And I use my phone for the camera, so it would end the stream pretty badly. But anyway, you have the push. You have to push the KO into it, but it's apparent and so subtle, actively, invisibly nice. Yeah, man. See, that's a good thing to hear, but it also needs the 12-bit reduction at source. So I agree. If you can get the 12-bit reduction from something, get it from like, if I'm gonna be honest, if you want something that don't cost you no bunch of extra money, get VU 202. If you got Koala and you have the whole package where you have the mixer, then you have access to what they call the bit cooker. Let me show you guys this stuff. Hold on a second. You can see my screen here. Can you see Koala? Yeah, you guys should be able to see Koala. Go into the mixer, and I put this on every track I make in Koala, bit cooker. Take bit cooker and drop the percentage here down. You could even leave this at 44.1 if you want, but you could drop it down to like 32-ish, somewhere around there. The bit depth is the key. Put it at 12 bit, right? Or if you want to do 8, do what you want. Add just a little bit of jitter. I mean, just a little bit. And then run that through and tell me what you think. Most of you guys should have Koala by now. Yeah, I agree with you. She's Beats. 44303 vinyl sim on SP is amazing. The vinyl sim, the vinyl crackle on the MPC sample is actually really good. I do like the emulator for the vinyl crackle. I just don't see that emulation for the vintage stuff sounding good. But this right here, this bit cooker, you already have it if you have the mixer. Just throw it over whatever you want and resample, and you got that sound. If you don't want that, then go get the VU one. And so I'll show you guys that just because we're here. Why not? Guys, it's free to do this. So don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself, as they say. Now, this one costs $19 as a full sampler. If you want the Akai 900 effect with the filter and the sample rate, it's $9. But for free, click up here, go to the VU 202. It's in beta, and he's giving this thing out for free. Anybody can get it. You don't have to be on a team or anything like that. You just get it. and you can adjust the standard. Watch. It has the hi-fi. Here's your here's your reduction rates here. The standard is good for drums, really. And if you want to put the lo-fi right here, one on your samples, I put I put this thing on the bass. I put it on the. I mean, it just sounds so good. It says useful for dusty chops or more muted drums, right? And then when you go this far down, you're getting wild with it. Okay. But if you get this far down where it's like 3,906.25 hertz, it's going to get really degraded. But the lo-fi and the standard are the way to go if you want that sound. And then run those filters. Yeah, that 950 is something else. Oh yeah, the RX 950 on iOS as well as desktop is really good too. You're right. Anen Records, yeah. But this joint here is free. That's the only reason why I said this. And then if you got Koala, you already got Big Cooker. I slept on Big Cooker for a while and I had it, but I was sleeping on it. And then somebody told me about it and he said, "Man, you got to try Big Cooker." And now I'm addicted. It's really amazing. Did that thing kill my camera? No, hopefully not. But anyway, I'm gonna have to get up off this thing. I'll be on here all day, and then my phone will die on you. So yeah, if you haven't got this, go get this. Run your samples through it. Let me know what you think. There's a sequencer on this thing too. He added to it, and he's added all kinds of other effects. So you have a set of effects for your pads, but you also have a set of effects for the bank that you're on, and you have a set of effects for the master. So it's pretty cool. And you get a view where you can sample and trim all of this. And it has a 80, is it 80 SR? No, it's just a 80 AD on there where you can adjust and trim stuff. Anyway, free. Grab it, try it. Yeah. And it says right here, if you buy the 950, by the way, you get the 900 effects included in the price. So for 19 bucks, you're basically getting two plugins if you want that. And it sounds great. Or and then get this one for free while you're at it. All right, cool. So yeah, Akai did a wonderful job on this device. Highly recommended. It's not its portability, that's its best feature. And you can see we've been on this stream for a few hours now. Let me see. I don't see my time. But anyway, we've been on it for a few hours and this device is still on. Been on the whole time. And I think the battery life is 5 hours, so that's pretty good. I'll throw it on the charger. There's a green light to show you. Can you guys see it? Let me see if you can see. Minimize this. Oops, didn't mean to do that. There's a green light right here that shows your battery. So you'll know when the battery is getting low, it's going to move to this area here. So there you go. Pretty simple. Amen, Dusty. Big cooker on everything. Um, yeah, man. That RX 950 is dope though. Yeah, I agree. It's a really good plugin. I got it on iOS and desktop. I love that thing. The 202 is just special. You got to get the VU 202. The 950 is good. Um, that 950 and also the sampler 950 that I just showed you. That thing it auto chops, but it's actually pretty cool. And every time I use it, it sounds good on just about every sample I've run it through. But if you don't want that, just go with the RX 950. That one works too. What else? Yeah. So I know we look for that big cooker. I just don't want to lie to you and tell you that the effects sound amazing if they don't. I'm not into that lying thing. And Akai didn't pay me anything. So and I'm not gonna lie anyway. But anyway, appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back on. I'm gonna go spend some time reading the manual and learning this machine a little bit better. And I hope you all get yours tomorrow if you haven't got it today. And if you're looking at getting it, there's no question if you like the Akai workflow, this is solid. They took the best of every small sampler out there and made it into a nice nice piece. So anyway, I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.